Hi, welcome to Intellectual Minds Hub. In this video, we will discuss about the mystery of Titan. Here is the video that is showing the implosion of the Titan. Titan was a 5-person submersible vessel operated by Ocean Gate Company. First of all, we should know the difference between the submarine and submersible. A submersible is an underwater craft that needs to be transported and supported by a surface vessel or platform. This distinguishes submersibles from submarines, which are self-supporting and are capable of independent operation. Titan was 6.7 meters long and 10,432 kilograms in weight and was constructed from carbon fiber and titanium. The entire pressure vessel consisted of two titanium hemispheres, formerly known as Cyclops II. It was constructed using titanium alloy for the hemispherical domes at each end of the vessel and carbon fiber reinforced plastic for the hull. CFRP, that stands for carbon fiber reinforced plastic, is a composite material, meaning its mechanical properties are a result of the combination of two constituent materials. Carbon fibers exhibit terrific tensile strength but are useless on their own. They are therefore infused with a polymer to hold them together and to produce strong and lightweight structure. 130 feet is the recommended maximum depth for scuba divers. After 650 feet, twilight area starts, where light can't reach easily. The deepest underwater operation till now occurred at 1600 feet. At 2600 feet is the depth where giant squid swim. 3500 feet marks the start of midnight zone, where sunlight doesn't penetrate and the water temperature is about 4 degrees centigrade. You can imagine that a Titanic wreckage is found at 12,500 feet, where the pressure is about 6,000 psi and is about 400 times greater than the surface. Ocean Gate is a private company founded in 2009 by Stockton Rush and Sohni. Since 2010, it has transported paying customers in leased commercial submersibles off the coast of California, in the Gulf of Mexico, and in the Atlantic Ocean. The company is based in Washington, US. Rush realized that visiting shipwreck sites was a way to get media attention. Ocean Gate had previously conducted trips to other shipwrecks, including its 2016 dive to the wreck of Andrea Doria. In 2019, Rush told Smithsonian Magazine that there's only one wreck that everyone knows. If you ask people to name something underwater, it's going to be sharks, whales, and Titanic. Ocean Gate had initially not sought certification for Titan, arguing that excessive safety protocols hindered innovation. Titan could move at up to 3 knots using 4 electric thrusters arrayed to horizontal and to vertical. Its steering controls consisted of wireless game controller with modified analog sticks. The use of game controllers is common for remote control vehicles. According to Ocean Gate, the vessel contained monitoring systems to continuously monitor the strength of the hull. The vessel had life support for 5 people for 96 hours. There is no GPS underwater. The support ship, which monitored the position of Titan relative to its target, sent text messages to Titan providing distances and directions. According to Ocean Gate, Titan had several backup systems intended to return the vessel to the surface in case of emergency, including balloon, thrusters, and sandbags held by hooks that dissolved after a certain number of hours in salt water. Ideally, this would release the sandbags, allowing the vessel to float to the surface. Customers who traveled to the Titanic with Ocean Gate, referred to as mission specialists by the company, paid US $250,000 each for the 8-day expedition. OceanGate intended to conduct multiple dives to the Titanic in 2023, but the dive in which Titan was destroyed was the only one the company had launched that year. Because Titan operated in international waters and did not carry passengers from a port, it was not subject to safety regulations. The vessel was not certified as seaworthy by any regulatory agency or third-party organization. Even reporter David, who completed the expedition in 2022 as a part of CBS News Sunday morning feature, said that all the passengers who entered Titan signed a waiver confirming that their knowledge that it is an experimental vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in any physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Television producer Mike, who almost completed the expedition, said the waiver mentions the death 3 times on page 1. A 2019 article published in Smithsonian Magazine referred to Rush as a daredevil inventor. In this article, Rush is described as having said the U.S. Passenger Vessel Safety Act of 1993 needlessly prioritized passenger safety over commercial innovation. In a 2022 interview, Rush told CBS News, "At some point, safety just is pure waste. I mean, if you just want to be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything." Rush said in a 2021 interview, "I have broken some rules to make Titan. I think I have broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium. There's a rule you don't do that." Well, I did. Shehzada Dawood, a Pakistani-British businessman of the Dawood Hercules Corporation and philanthropist, a son of businessman Hussain Dawood and grandson of Pakistani industrialist Ahmad Dawood. Sulman Dawood, the son of Shehzada Dawood. He was a student. His mother Christine Dawood gave up her seat for him to go down. Hamish Harding, a British businessman and aviator and space tourist. He had previously descended into the Challenger Deep, broken the Guinness World Record for the fastest circumnavigation of the Earth. Paul Henry, a former French Navy commander, diver, submersible pilot, member of the French Institute for the Research and Exploitation of the Sea, and director of underwater research for E/M Group and RMS Titanic, that owns salvage rights to the wreckage site. He led more than 35 expeditions to the wreck, supervised the recovery of thousands of artifacts, and was widely considered the leading authority on the wreck site. Stockton Rush, an American submersible pilot, engineer, and businessman. He was a chief executive and co-founder of the OceanGate. MV Polar Prince transported Titan and expedition's crew to the dive site above the wreck of the Titanic. On 16 June 2023, the expedition to the Titanic departed from St. John, Newfoundland aboard the research and expedition ship MV Polar Prince. The ship arrived at the dive site on 17 June. One of the occupants, Hamish Harding, posted on Facebook, "Due to the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years, this mission is likely to be the first and the only crewed mission to the Titanic in 2023. Our weather window has just opened up and we are going to attempt a dive tomorrow." He also indicated that the operation was scheduled to begin around 4 Eastern Daylight Time. The dive operation began on 18 June at 9:30 a.m. For the first hour and a half of the descent, Titan communicated with the Polar Prince every 15 minutes. But communication stopped after recorded communication at 11:15 a.m. The submersible was expected to resurface at 4:30 p.m. At 7:10 p.m., the U.S. Coast Guard was notified of the missing vessel. The Navy reviewed its acoustic data from that time and passed the information about the possible implosion. Titan had up to 96 hours of breathable air supply for its 5 passengers when it set out, which would have expired on the morning of 22 June 2023 if the submersible had remained intact. The United States Coast Guard, United States Navy, and Canadian Coast Guard led the search and rescue efforts. Aircraft from the Royal Canadian Air Force and United States Air National Guard, a Royal Canadian Navy ship, and several commercial and research ships and remotely operated underwater vehicles also assisted in the search. The search involved both a surface search and an underwater sonar search. Crews from the United States Coast Guard launched such missions 900 nautical miles. The U.S. Coast Guard indicated that the search and rescue mission was difficult because of the remote location, weather, darkness, sea conditions, and water temperature. Rear Admiral John Mager said that they were deploying all available assets. While many submersibles are equipped with an acoustic beacon that emits sounds that can be detected underwater by rescuers, Titan did not have such a device. According to an internal US government memo, a Canadian CP-140 Aurora's sonar picked up underwater noises while searching for the submersible. The US Coast Guard officially acknowledged the sounds early the following morning but reported that early investigations had not yielded results. Rear Admiral John Mager of the US Coast Guard said the source of the noise was unknown and may have come from the many metal objects at the site of the wreck. A Canadian CP-140 Aurora plane had previously spotted a white rectangular object floating on the surface. A ship sent to find and identify the object was diverted to help find the source of the noise. The noises were later described by the US Coast Guard as being apparently unrelated to the missing vessel. Rear Admiral John Mager delivers a press briefing in Boston on 22 June. At 1:18 p.m. on 22 June, the US Coast Guard's northeast sector announced that a debris field has been found near the wreck of the Titanic. The debris located by Pelagic Research Services that gave 5 hours into its search was later confirmed to be a part of the submersible. At 4:30 p.m., the Coast Guard said that the loss of submersible was due to an implosion of the pressure chamber, and that pieces of Titan had been found on the seafloor about 1,600 feet northeast of the bow of the Titanic. The identified debris consists of the tail cone and the forward and the aft end bells, both part of the pressure vessel, intended to protect the crew from the ocean environment. Did you consider Stockton Rush responsible for that incident, who actually didn't follow the rules and regulations while designing Titan? This is still a question. However, investigation is still under process. The Titan's sinking remains a haunting event that has captured the world's attention. May we carry the memories of those who are in our hearts and learn from their mistakes. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more content. Thank you.